Some of us have been having a challenging month. Some of us have been coming back from summer vacations and feel that we're not really ready to come back to work. We may feel that summer and being free and being off and resting has left us feeling that, okay, what is it that we're doing the rest of the year? Some of us have been in a period where things haven't really been progressing in the way that we want to. I know that there are many of us that wants a comeback season. This is the comeback season to really get ahead of your life and also start to feel that things are really, really good for you in your day to day. I myself have been in a couple of months actually where I felt that things has been challenging in a certain way, and I've been giving myself the rest and this space to really look at those moments and see what is it that I'm going to learn out of this. So when you are going down into a funk, it's really important that you actually look into, why do I get in this funk? What's happening, right? What is the kind of event that maybe started this me going down into this funk and continue on this road? What is it that's happening? So that's the first thing that we are going to talk about today when it comes to this. And the second one is, of course, to doing the reset so that we can come back and really feel really good about this season ahead, because I know so many of us do also feel that we are so ready for a new season. We are so ready for like getting back on track. We're so ready for feeling at our best self again. When you notice that you're getting into a funk, or you have been a funk, you haven't like really keeping to your habits maybe, or you maybe feel that you're just not being taking care of yourself in the way that you know that you really want to take care of yourself, even it's mentally or if it's like emotionally, physically, whatever it is, right? And then we need to look at what made me get into this funk from the first place. Especially in periods, if it has been a little bit longer period, when you feel that on a day-to-day you need to bounce back, you like falling off and then need to go on the track again almost, right? You will see that maybe it is a self-talk, a certain self-talk, how I carry myself, my self-image, how I view myself. Maybe it is certain thoughts that I'm carrying around with. Maybe it's a certain judgment which I have towards others, or judgment toward me, right? Maybe it is that I'm just like not eating good, or I'm eating a snack who doesn't give me like the energy, so my energy dips a lot. Or maybe I'm thinking about the worst case scenario. Can we pinpoint the kind of categories, or can we pinpoint the areas in our lives where we feel that this is making us going down the funk? It can as well be like you're reacting on something, right? You're reacting on a certain ingredient, you are reacting on a certain type of behavior, you're reacting on a certain type of weather. It's so important to look at the patterns. It's so important to look at the spiraling when you have been going down the funk. So the next thing is to, of course, look into what is it that I now can do different moving forward. How would my future self react in these moments? How would my future self be in these moments, think in these moments, maybe act or not act? Would she make these kind of purchases or not? Would she eat these types of foods or not? Would she spend time with these type of people or not? Would she read this type of books or not, right? So whatever it is for you, whatever you feel that has made you come down into a funk, look into it and see also how would your future self behave instead in these moments, and every day bouncing back to that future self, picking yourself up to that future self, so that you can start to create this new spiral. You can start to create this new pattern. That's the first step of getting out of the funk and learning the lessons of that funk. Second part is, of course, to do the comeback reset. It's, of course, to come back to a new season, a new level of you. What I needed to do, which I know many of us need to do, is to get back into the present moment and bringing our future self into the present moment. Usually we have a gap between where we are now and where we want to be, or how we want to be, the person that we want to become. The gap is in the present. The gap is in the present. Many times we can kind of visualize, we can think about this is the type of home she lives in, or this is the type of lifestyle that she has, or this is the workout practice that she has, but there is this gap. And that's because we are not energizing it and we are not embodying it in the present moment. We need to understand that where I am right here, right now, is also my future self, is also the best version of myself. How can I act and how can I be as my future self, even though my circumstances haven't changed at all? Right? Because, or else you will always be in this waiting phase, and you will always be in this phase of underlying self-concept of I'm not where I want to be. I'm not there yet, right? So that's why we need to close the gap and understand, okay, if I would have this type of lifestyle, if I would have this kind of workout practice, if I would have this type of, I don't know, self-discipline or whatever it is, how would I react now? How would I respond to this situation now? What habit would I have now in my present moment when going to work? What will I be like, right? And we really need to look into and being in that in the present moment, because or else you will always chase something that is further away from you. You will always chase a gap, which will continue to be a gap, actually. So this is something that comes with some practice. It comes with a lot of intention when it comes to go about your days, but it's about changing the kind of self in a way and changing your identity so that you become more of that person, even though that person doesn't live that life. So how does that look like? Let's say that you want a home full with plants. We're just making a very simple example. You want to have green fingers, right? And so you are picturing yourself all the time having plants around in your home and everything. Well, okay, do you have a plant at home right now? Do you take care of that plant? Because someone who really would have like flourishing, abundant plants at home probably would talk to her plants. She would probably go and look at her plants. Are like, okay, do you need more water? Should I just let you be right now? Do you need to stand in another light? Are you having comfortable here? Do you need a bigger pot, right? All of that version of yourself would do. That version wouldn't go around and just like, oh, I only have one plant and I want a full home with plants, right? That's the version when you're stepping into your future self in the present. That's how you do. You don't care about what the reality looks like, where you are right now. The only thing that you care about is that, okay, this is the energy that I want to create, so I'm going to create this energy now. I'm going to have these habits of, I'm going to have these behaviors of, I'm going to have this self-image of. That version that I feel the best for me. So that's how you're closing the gap and closing the presence. And I think it's also very important to talk about what's the fears in your present, because whenever we create a gap between where we are now and where we want to be, we always have some type of fear. There's always an underlying fear. That's of course my belief. You don't need to have that belief, but if you have that belief, or if you kind of dig deeper into it, there is some type of fear that is saying that where I am right now, the present moment isn't really safe. Maybe I don't feel that the present moment is safe because if I'm enjoying the moment that I have right now, I'm not telling myself or telling the universe or telling, that I'm not fully showing up for my future version of myself, right? That can be kind of a limiting belief that we can carry. It may be a certain belief of that, well, if I'm continue to live the life that I live right now, I will not make that change because I see a different type of life in my future, right? That's not true either. You have to embrace, you have to enjoy, you have to be really loving of the moment which you have, and you create from that state. You create from those resources that you have in the now. So what's your fear? What's your specific fear when it comes to being in the present moment? Okay, journal a bit of this. What is your specific fear of being in the present moment? Because if we can kind of nail on that, you will definitely bounce back into a comeback season, and you will definitely understand what's making you continuously going down that funk of I'm not where I want to be, so to say. Okay, is there something else I want to tell you? Yes. What in your current situation do you need to do different is also something that we want to look into. So when we know the fears, when we kind of understand that, okay, I'm going to really embody my future self in my present, I also need to make sure that I know what to do different, because from the version identity, from the self-image, from the kind of combination of thoughts, all of that I were when I was in this challenging month, I cannot really be exactly like her any longer, right? Because or else I will just like continue that pattern and I will continue to spiral in that way. So I need to understand what is it that I need to do different. And I usually like map it out to make it very easy for me. It works every single time. I ask myself, what is it that needs to be done different? Is it something spiritually, meaning is it something internally? Is it something in my energy? Is it something in my self-image? Something of that sort, right? Is it something like energy wise, so to say? Is it something in my vibration? Then I look into the mentally. Okay, is it more so like the thoughts or how I speak about something, or the stories that I tell? Is there something how I communicate to myself or communicate to others that needs to be different? Is it something physically? So is there actually something in, the habits, my day-to-day habits I need to change? Is there something in the systems that I'm having? Is there something actually in my home that needs to be rearranged, because I'm continuing in this environment to be reminded of the teenager version of me, or the version of me that didn't have this or that or whatever, right? Or does it give me a sense of limiting belief, or beliefs are attached to that object, for instance, right? So physically, or is it the environment where I work, or is the environment where I work out? What is it in the physical space, the more tangible stuff? There may be something that I need to do different. Is it that I need to do a different money plan, investment plan, right? It can be something like that as well. And so emotionally, is there something emotionally I need to do different? Is it something, within an emotion that I keep on carrying and that make me go down this funk? And usually when we map it up in that way, we start to feel where we really need to center our attention into. So usually, or like I'm not even saying usually, always, I understand when I'm doing that. When I ask myself that, I understand, okay, which area is it that I need to give in the most attention to at this moment? And I start with that area. And many times I don't need to look into that areas because it was this I needed. Sometimes I feel, oh, okay, it's emotionally and it's mentally, for instance, right? But this really help you to get the direction much quicker. I want to say a little bit of a advice when it comes to being in the present and understanding the present. So the recent months I were really going back to like, how much am I really in the present? Because I'm a very futuristic person. I tend to go towards, oh, this is new, oh, a new chapter, oh, I love all that, and that is really a strength of mine. I really love that sides of me, but I also need to learn how to ground myself and anchor myself in the present moment. So lately I've been really needing to feel into what is it that I actually need in this very moment. Usually our minds can run into that, okay, I want to publish a book. And in order for me to publish that book, I maybe want to do it through a publisher, let's say like that. Or maybe I feel that I need a bigger investment of money to do that. So that's how we start to just like, okay, how can I get those money? How can I get this publisher? And then we haven't even started to write that book. Or we don't even know the angle of that book, right? There are so many steps that we are skipping and we are running ahead because we want to be there when we're actually here right now. What is it that your present moment need? If you got those money in your lap today, would your present moment know which publisher or how to market that book, or even, take care of those money and not using it for something else? Would that version of you really be doing that? So what is it that you actually need to do? Is it that you need to learn and understand investment from the beginning, investing your energy, investing your space, investing, the attention, the focus, the intentionality into a book? Is it that what you need to actually in this present moment, and not really the money? When I ask myself those questions, I always bring myself back into the presence and understanding what's the very next step that I'm going to make. The comeback season, the last thing is, of course, to also ask what's next. What's to invite? Okay, this is the fun part according to me, as I just said in the previous one, right? So it's so fun to just like really go into like, what is that I want to invite right now? And usually I play around with that a little bit. I don't want it to be something very similar that I had before, or I really want it to be kind of invitation of something new, or in a very new way I'm receiving this, right? So to be specific here, inviting something new can be as small as I'm buying tea. And I never been drinking tea before, but my whole being feels that she wants to drink tea right now. Maybe that's like a bad example, because I think that many of you are maybe tea drinkers. I love tea also. I've always been drinking. But let's say, so you understand, right? Maybe that will make a very, very difference in how you show up in the mornings. Maybe that will give you a piece of calm, for instance. Maybe that will, you will drink a certain type of herb tea that gives you a certain type of focus or a certain type of calm, right? But it can also be something that I want to invite a new perspective in my life. I want to have this perspective. I actually seen that certain people, let's take the book writing example again. Okay, I've seen that writers have this kind of perspective. I usually don't go into that perspective. I feel that I don't have that perspective, right? I want to start with that perspective. So I'm inviting that perspective. You see, so when we want to think about what we want to invite, we want to make it different, very different, like a new thing, like a something totally new, like let's say that you never in your life ever bought pants, right? Just to make it very simple. Then you're inviting pants, like it's a very big thing, or it is a new way how you don't even need to get dressed. That's like, do you see my point here? Inviting something new needs to be something very new. According to me, I set that rule just to kind of challenge my mind in a great way, to also look at newness, to also look at, okay, I'm expanding, I'm evolving beyond of who I am today and beyond of what I know. And this helps me a lot to really see life from a certain type of angle, and this helps me to actually really invite things that sometimes I didn't even know that I needed to invite, or sometimes I didn't even know how much of an impact that would make on my life. Bouncing back, priming your energy, getting back there, having your comeback season is something that I am an expert on. I really been needing to, in so many pairs and levels of myself, needing to understand energy on a very deep level, and understanding of that, okay, when I get moody or when my feelings are this or that, how can I bounce back in a great way when I feel or I have this thought, and I'm not feeling at my best, how can I do so I feel like better instead, right? I actually really been learning and needed to practice how to alchemize my own energy. So I also know that it's not always the easiest, it's not always the most kind of specific thing to do, or many times you need to remind yourself many times a day in order for you to get into this kind of comeback season when you feel that you are not going down that funk over and over again. So take it, everything that I talked about today, take it within your own steps, take it within your own rhythm, and also be kind to yourself. Be kind and tell yourself that it's okay. It's okay if I don't get it the first time. It's okay if I feel that I'm slipping back a little bit. It's totally okay. It's me learning. It's me learning. It's me being stronger in this, right? It's me coming back to this, right? And each and every time I will come back with a new perspective, with another type of understanding. I will come back with another type of strength, right? This is something that we many times kind of don't think about, but we think about practicing and working out our body, right? And if we're not like strengthening our body, we are, it's getting weaker. That's the same for your mind, right? You have to do the same with your inner self as well. So don't be hard on yourself. This is what I want to end this video with. Hope that this was helpful for you, and this is our comeback season. Can you tell me what your comeback season will be about? I would love to hear that, and keep on listening to Within Talks.